So the JSE was firmer in early trade, but the rand slightly weaker. The rand reached its best level in almost 2 weeks on Tuesday, closing the session at 1.7% stronger against the US dollar as the prospect of China easing restrictions in Shanghai after the city recorded 0 COVID cases in 3 consecutive days lifted sentiment. Let's track the latest market moves. We're joined by Michael Treherne, portfolio manager at Vestact. Michael, good to see you. Thank you very much for availing yourself. How are we faring at midday trade?
Afternoon, Dudu. JSE is rather flat at the moment, only up 0.07%. Started the day green, dropped briefly into the red and has now rebounded. I think we're in wait-and-see mode. Let's see what's happening, particularly out with US earnings this afternoon. And then the SARB locally, the interest rate decision tomorrow is probably another market-moving factor.
When we talk about inflation, what are we talking about, as the latest shows that it has come in unchanged for the month of April? And talk us through some of the contributing factors there.
Yes, so it's in at 5.9%, which is still within the SARB's range, so just under the 6% limit. It is expected, though, to reach the 6% limit sometime this year. Looking at the contributing factors, no surprises. Oil transport, with the weaker rand and the very high oil price, we're effectively importing inflation. What is helping is something like clothing that's only up 1%, so it's all over the place. But unfortunately, one of our biggest factors being transport is up 14%. It's hard to avoid that, and that's what's pulling the overall number higher.
Here we go again. The MPC's decision is coming out tomorrow. Some pundits pointing out that there might be an increase in the repo rate of 50 basis points. Your analysis or your bet?
Yeah, so I think there's probably no debate that there's almost 100% chance of a rate increase tomorrow. The only question is it 25 basis points or is 50 basis points? And it's, the SARB is generally very cautious, which generally is a good thing. And given the cautious nature and the environment, the high inflation environment we're in at the moment, and given that international central banks are raising rates pretty aggressively, I think 50 basis points is probably more likely at the moment. What we will be looking for is the SARB's forecast for the rest of the year. And that's probably more of an impact on the rand and where consumers are, or how consumers will feel going forward, because we probably see a few more rate increases before the year's over.
In company news, 91 has published its results for the year ending 31 March 2022. How would you characterize their performance?
The numbers look really, really strong. So N91 is the old Vestact asset management. It's listed at the height of COVID 2 years ago. They showed an extra 100 billion rand in assets under management, record profits, good growth in the dividend. But asset management businesses are very dependent on what's happening in the market. And even though that these numbers are up to the end of March, since the end of March we've seen a lot of volatility and we've seen very big pullbacks in the market. And N91 pointing towards a weaker market, mean lower profits for them, and we've seen the share price weaken accordingly.
Nampak also posted a trading statement for the same period, 6 months ending March 31, 2022. How did they fare?
Yes, so this was just a heads up to the market what to expect with their official numbers next week. And they said that they expect profits to double, which the market received very positively. The shares up over 5%. Probably most material in their trading update is that there's no major impairments to the business. Nampak's basically been in turnaround mode for the last few years, and seeing no impairments points to turnaround mode settling and things hopefully looking brighter for the company in years ahead.
Michael Treherne, portfolio manager at Vestact. Thank you very much for helping us make sense of the latest market moves.